All right, guys, let's do this. What up? It's JoJo on the radio. This is the iHeartRadio Countdown. And look who just rolled in. Happy New Year, man. Paul Russell, what's up? You good?
Hey, I'm doing well. Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well.
I met you at Jingle Ball in L.A., and dude, we'll get into all the details, but I'm guessing your life has been just nuts, like complete, just 0 to 100 over the last 6 months, right?
Absolutely insane. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, like to go from working a desk job to be, performing everywhere and doing interviews like this, it's just wild to me.
Paul, you alluded to this, but I think you said something to the effect of last year, about this time, you were in an office. Now, walk me through you went from that, which is cool. I mean, everybody does it. It's making money. Yeah. It's what, but this is a completely different world. Going from that to this, what's that transition like?
Yeah. Oh, the transition's been really interesting. Because I was working at a tech company doing like finance stuff, and then the song Lil Boo Thang, I'd posted it online, and then it started to grow, and then I quit my job the week that the song came out, and then everything has just been crazy since then. And I think the biggest change, I'm way more busy than I thought I would be. Like, because I was working a lot back then, but it's funny. I always think back to like right before I quit my job, I was like, what am I going to do with all my time? Like, I'm going to be a full-time musician, so I'm just going to wake up and like make some songs. But no, it's like I'm traveling, I'm, going places, I'm making new things. And so it takes up a lot of time, but it's been so fun, which is just
right. It's
wild.
What like your dreams, like, I don't know what your dream was, but I'm guessing something it's happening. Like it's really happening,
It's wild. Well, but what's funny is if you asked me as a kid, or if you asked me honestly at any point before last year what I wanted to do as a job, like what my dream was, I wouldn't have said music.
What would you have said? Or do you know?
I don't know, because I honestly, for so long, really wanted to do the business thing. Like that was what when I was in, elementary school and middle school, I was like selling stuff all the time. Like I was always,
right.
I'd make little things out of duct tape.
Making that money.
I was always selling. So I was like, yeah, business person, like that's me. That's cool. And like, I just, once I did it, I realized this is fun, but there's more out there that I'm passionate about. And with music, it was something that it just came randomly, but just seeing how it really felt like I could make an impact through it. Just, it felt like this is a no-brainer.
I bet a lot of that business stuff will play into this as you go along a ton.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm guessing there's way more to you than just Lil Boo Thing. And people are asking, album, EP, body of music, what are you working on? What can you say? Or maybe it's all top secret. I don't know.
Wow. Not top secret. I've got some things I can say.
What can you say, Mr. Paul Russell?
I've got some new music coming out. Actually, next month, I have new music coming out.
Hey, is it February or January?
It's February.
Okay.
Next month, I've got some new music, and then I have an album that is pretty much done, to be honest. And I don't know when it's going to come out. That one, we're figuring it out, feeling out what the right timing is for it. But I've been working on a lot of new stuff, and so I'm excited to just let it out.
Now, I've heard you say before that you want to give Lil Boo Thing its time, because if you put something out, let's say too early, then it takes the shine off of that one because people will jump to the new. But Lil Boo Thing is so huge, let it run.
Yeah.
So I guess how do you decide that? I guess that's the $1 million question, right?
Really, it is. It's so because there were so many moments where I thought like, I really want my new song to come out now, and then something fell through, or we had to push it back, or whatever. And it always ended up being the case that there was, after that point, some big thing that helped Lil Boo Thing grow even more, that made it to where it wouldn't have been a good idea to have a new thing out yet. So I think it's like, you kind of can't really guess. You have to just like see how things go and just, make the most out of it. But I definitely wanted to let the song breathe for a little bit, just because, it's growing.
Yeah, it's just magic. It just happened, dude. Paul, more questions about Lil Boo Thing. You released, when you first put it out, it was, I believe, a 21-second clip on TikTok. This thing just blew up instantly, basically, just overnight. Or and I think you found out when you were playing like golf or mini golf. Like, walk me through that, because your phone's blowing up, I'm guessing, or whatever, and you realize that, holy crap, something's going on.
Yeah. My phone kept buzzing, and I was like, what's going on? I looked at it, and I saw that, the video, first, I mean, it was getting a lot of likes and comments and things, but it was pretty quick that people started just creating their own videos with the sound. And that was just insane to me, because that happened. And then over the next like 3 weeks, I saw so many videos with the sound. And my first thought was like, crap, like chill out, because if I'm going to release this, then I don't want everyone to be sick of it by the time it comes out. But I mean, it was gladly a good thing, not a bad thing for all these people. But it was just boom, boom, boom. It's nuts.
Like your life. I've heard so many stories where somebody post something on TikTok or whatever platform, and they go take a nap or they go to bed and they wake up and that's kind of what happened to you. It just whammo out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but something you didn't. It was a surprise.
It was a surprise, yeah. Because I mean, back then I didn't think that I didn't think it was going to be a song when I posted it. It was like, here's a little clip of something that I've made.
Just like content.
Just content, yeah. And then, once I saw the response to it, then it was like, okay, I got to make a song. And then it was like, oh, okay, how do I figure out how to release it and everything? But yeah, it was definitely so unexpected. And so like, a week before, I was trying to figure out what to do. Like I like making music, and I've had some stuff grow, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it. And then, everything changed immediately. And then, the following week, my life is already different.
Wow. Paul, the story, you said you quit your job when the song came out. I want to get into that a little bit here. When you walked into the boss's office or whoever, were you nervous? What was going through your head? Are you thinking, am I crazy? You mentioned I'm going to have so much free time. Wrong there. What was going through your mind as you quit this job, which is a job you liked?
Yeah. Wow. I remember I didn't walk into the office because I was out of town for a music thing.
Oh, that's right. You're like, was it shooting some?
Yeah,
whatever
shooting a commercial. Yeah. And because this was the week before the song came out, so I had just I got invited to do this commercial, and I'm there. And then my friend was like, "Hey, man, like nobody's seen you at the office in a while, so like you probably should quit if that's what you're planning to do." And I'd been kind of stalling because, I didn't want to give up my paycheck just yet. It was like, I'll quit at the right time. But, I got the message and I was like, okay, it's time. So, yeah, I called my boss. I wouldn't say I was nervous, but it's a weird conversation because it's like, how do you communicate like, hey, I'm quitting. I don't have another job.
But I kind of do, but I don't.
But I'm just going to be a musician now. Yeah. And so it was wild. But I remember, my boss was super amicable about it, and it was a good conversation. But yeah, I was like, I think I'm gonna, just
you would be a pop star now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, have you talked to any of your coworkers back then, or the boss? Like, have they said, "Oh my God, that's so cool what you're doing"? Or what's those conversations like?
Yeah. I'll get messages all the time of people I used to work with, and they'll, I heard the song in the Uber today, or whatever. Which has been cool. It's crazy how when you have a song that is on the radio, for example, it's like there's so many people who will hear it that you don't think about them listening to your song. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like my boss's boss, calls me and is like, "Hey, I just heard your song." And I'm like, wait. That's so weird that you're listening to my, so stuff like that is just, it's beautiful.
Dude, like that was the guy in the cubicle two desks over, and now he's all over the, God, that's what a rush, man. All right. Paul, since Lil Boo Thing's blown up, album coming out, all that, I'm assuming tour talks, tour plans. I don't know what you can say once again. Here we are in January, but what can you say?
I can say that I have a lot of performances coming up this year. Doing some college stuff in the very near future. I'm performing in a lot of places, but we're still trying to figure out a tour, like a real proper tour. That I don't know yet. We're having some conversations, having some, making some plans, but more on that TBD.
I know you did. My question being, do you enjoy road life? And you did our Jingle Ball tour, a couple of days from that. So based on that, I'm not sure if you've been on tour before that, but did you enjoy? I mean, I know you love being on stage. One would have to assume, but everything that goes with it, the travel, the packing the suitcase. Do you like road life?
I like it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's like I like it the most when I'm in a town where I know people. 'Cause it's like, oh, I just pulled up. Like, let's hang out.
Right.
You know, like sometimes I'll be in a random place and I'm like, woo, all right, like time to go downstairs to the restaurant. But I do enjoy the life of, you know, going to different places, seeing new places, seeing new people, meeting new people, and just, you know, going up on stage. So it's cool. It's fun. It's something that, you know, I don't know if I could do it my whole life. But for right now, it's fun.
Yeah, some people,
You know?
there's a love-hate with road life.
Because I mean, because it's like, you know, the people back home, I miss, you know, there's stuff that I miss all the time of like, oh, this person's birthday or like this event or this thing, or it's just like the people that I love. And it's like, oh, I haven't seen her in a while. I haven't seen it. You know, so that kind of thing is sad. But it's also so fun because there's so many things I would have never made it to that I do get to make it to. Because like the world has become a lot smaller to me, which is fun. Like
that's a cool way to put it, you know? I've heard statements similar to that, but it's like, yeah, the places that you thought are just so, they might as well be on the moon, they're so far away, and you're going there, you know?
Yeah, it's great because also, you know, when I have a friend move away, like back, you know, before I was a musician, if I had a friend who lived in LA and they're like, I'm moving to XYZ, I would be really bummed because it's like, I'm probably not going to see you for a very long time because I'm never going to go to Greenville, North Carolina, or whatever the place is.
Right.
But now it's like someone moves and I'm like, oh, I'm sure I'll see you. Like, I'll be there probably.
Right.
So, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah. Paul, have you ever been starstruck? And the reason I bring that up is you did Jingle Ball tour, you know, probably bumped into some cool people. I'm not sure who you've worked with, you know, in studios and whatnot. But have you ever been next to someone, holy crap, I can't believe I'm meeting blank?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Who?
Oh, my gosh. Wow. I was actually just talking earlier with a friend about, so at Jingle Ball, I think it was the LA Jingle Ball. We filmed like little like segment before that's going to air on the like televised part of it, where it was me with the cast of the Golden Bachelor. And I had been watching that show so much. And I knew, you know, I had to act like, oh, what's your name? Hi, nice to meet you. But in my head, I'm like, yeah, I know you. You said this to this person, you did this. And like, I really liked when you did this, but I didn't like when you said that, you know.
Oh my God. I was totally expecting you, because I was at the LA Jingle Ball, so where I met you at. I was expecting you to say something like Jimmy Fallon, because Jimmy Fallon was back there, Olivia Rodrigo, or Niall. It's the Golden Bachelor cast. What the?
True, but all those people are also great as well. I didn't get to meet, you know, Olivia or Niall, but Jimmy Fallon, we hugged. It was a great moment. I was like, wow, what a life. So, I mean, it's cool meeting the celebrities that you like would have never thought. It's like,
but the Golden Bachelor thing is crazy,
But
right?
the Golden Bachelor thing, for me, I guess it was because I'd been watching that show so much recently. It was like, wait, you're in front of me right now?
Like, what? I don't like you. You're an evil.
Yeah.
Lil Boo Thing, Paul. I mean, we've said a lot about it already. We're going to say more about it later in the countdown, but this song has changed your life. What else what can you say about it?
Oh my gosh!
I can just hit the red blinking button and we can go. Whatever you want to do. But
no, a friend texted me the other day and they're like, "Do you think, you know, like, is it really easy to perform this song because you've heard it so much?" And I'm like, "It's more than easy. I could sing this song with my eyes closed while getting beat up underwater."
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah, but I love it. The thing is, it hasn't. Before it got released, I hated it because I was annoyed by it. But nowadays, I'm not annoyed. I'm like, I love this. I'm glad I made this. I listen to the song on my own.
Really? Like if somebody sees you driving on the road and like bumping, like, oh my God, that's Paul Russell listening to Paul Russell. And dude, speaking of like being able to do other things, like you know this song so well. Ryan Tedder, One Republic, Ryan Tedder told me that his song, they have a song called Apologize.
Of course.
And he has in his head written another song while singing Apologize.
Oh my God!
Because it's such muscle memory, and I keep asking him like, "Are you serious?" And he is sort of like this. It's you know it so well. You could probably like think, "What am I?" You're singing it's my Lil Boo Thing as you're thinking of what I have to pick up at the grocery store. You know?
Yeah,
Lil Boo Thing, Paul. This song. I mean, I just need to know more about this track. When did you know that it was going to be huge? Because for a moment, like it blew up on TikTok. You're starting to get all these texts and whatever, and your phone's going crazy. But at a certain point, it became more than a 21-second clip. You had to finish the track for starters. And then it just happened. When did you know?
Yeah. What's funny is I didn't know when I first made it. You know, I made the song and I was like, oh, this is cool. Well, I mean, first of all, I didn't even think I'd be able to release it when I first made it. But even at that point, it was like, oh, this is cool. A lot of people like it, but we'll see. But I remember there was a day where I went to a restaurant with some friends, and this was, you know, when it was still just on social media. And a couple people came up to me, just random people who were also like in the same restaurant, and they were like, release that song now.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? Because it was like, first of all, that was like the first time someone had like recognized me in public. But then also it was, you know, you guys are passionate enough about this song to like come up to a random guy and like tell him to release it. And so I was like, wait, so people really do like this. And
you remember what restaurant that was? Just out of curiosity, not that I would know it, but
it's called Waterfront. It's like a bar.
Like
in
Dallas?
Venice. It's in Venice, in LA.
Oh, here in LA?
Yeah.
No kidding. So they came up to you and says, dude, put the track out. You're a stranger to them. They're a stranger. That's crazy, man. You mentioned this, you alluded to this a couple of seconds ago. You didn't think you'd be able to release this track. Of course, the sample is from The Emotions. I believe some of the members of Earth, Wind, and Fire actually wrote it, unless I'm crazy.
Yep, Maurice White.
What goes into getting clearance for this song? Because that was a big song, and those are some big names, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and you know, when I first put out the social media part of it, I had no idea how the clearance world worked. And so I was so stressed out, and we're just like, all right, email this company and this person and this, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You have to, you know, there's the master side of the record and the publishing side, which are like the different parts of this sort of intellectual property of it. And so you have to have the different people who have ownership of the song sign off on it. And there's this whole process, and there's all this contact that needs to happen. And gladly, I mean, thankfully for me, what had happened was, you know, at first we were trying to kind of do stuff on our own, and it wasn't really working. And then we had the label Arista come in and, you know, give an offer to signing me. And so it was like, wait, let's do that. And then once that happened, they were able to, you know, make the connections and contact the people. And because they, you know, I had no connection to the industry before that. But then it's like, okay, now we have a way to do all of this. So
that sounds like a big old headache. It just sounds like it gives me a migraine. But luckily it just, man, it worked. Somebody upstairs was looking out.
Somebody upstairs was like, yeah.
This is pretty epic. We just met back at Jingle Ball, you know, a month ago, whatever. Here we are talking in the studio for the first time. Question for you that has nothing to do with music. You have no idea that I am obsessed with the paranormal. Ghost, you know, the haunted houses, even UFOs. I have a podcast called Paranormalish, which I do year-round. Have you ever experienced anything that you would consider paranormal?
Wow.
If you haven't, it's okay, but I just need to know.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know if I've ever met any ghosts or aliens.
That's a bummer. Whatever.
Yeah, well, gosh. Okay, I don't know. I have a friend at home who's really into it. And whenever I go back to Texas, he always will tell me the latest on, like, this is what they're saying about aliens now.
I like your friend already.
Yeah, great dude. And so he keeps me up to date, you know. But I don't know if I've experienced much on my own. I've just heard secondhand. But if any aliens are listening to this, pull up. I'm trying to meet.
Okay, well, here's my, I wouldn't call it a challenge, or maybe it is a challenge. When you start doing these dates around the country, tour, you know, show, whatever, you're going to stay in some hotels. Some of these hotels will have a history, a haunted history. Look out for room 300. Don't go on the 7th floor. You know, you'll never guess what happened in room blah, blah, blah. Request the haunted room.
No, you're crazy.
Paul, come on.
No.
And then tell me what happened if you survive. But just that's my challenge to you. Or, you know, maybe you'll get stuck in a room by accident. In that case, better, it works for me. Let me know if you experience anything, because these hotels, I'm telling you, one or two of them going to have a history.
Wow. I don't know. I would be so scared. I don't know what do you do this?
All the time. I mean, I love it. I can't get enough. Some of it's scary. Sometimes I get used to it a bit, but
okay, quickly, are there any paranormal stories or things that you've experienced in these places?
I can tell you some things. This happened to a friend of mine. We went to the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado, which is a very famous hotel for being haunted. It's the hotel where Stephen King stayed at years ago had an experience, and he, after that experience, wrote The Shining, which I'm sure you've heard. The Shining.
Oh my gosh.
A buddy of mine he was in another room, and he went to go put his clothes away that night, Stanley Hotel, and he shut the drawer. And this wasn't those like roller track drawers to kind of open and close easy. It was wooden track drawers. He puts his name is Miles, just to put he's a real person.
Okay.
He put his stuff in the drawer, closed it, walked around the room, did whatever, came back, the drawer's open. Okay, maybe I just didn't close it and I thought I did. Closed it again. Goes about his business, comes back, and this drawer is open again. And once again, it's not a drawer that opens and closes easily. So he shut it with intent, is how he phrased it to me. Went to bed, middle of the night, has to go to the bathroom, forgot about everything, stumbles across the room, bam, hits the door or the drawer. It's open again. So he says to the room, all right, I don't know what's going on in here, but, and he, can I please get some sleep? Can we stop doing this? And it stopped. It didn't open after that.
What?
Now, that's just the tip of the iceberg, dude.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you some more stuff later. A label approaches you and said, hey, we got a deal for you. I want you to sign this record deal. This is a big moment for any artist, signing the record deal. I mean, who was there? Was it just a digital signing, an email, and you had to send it back? Or was it a room full of champagne? Like, give me that moment. If you can, if maybe it was a boring moment. I don't know. But what happened?
No, it was a great moment. It was a very great moment. Wow. I'm trying to remember, because I guess the way it worked is it's like, there was the day that I made the decision and we kind of shook hands and it was like, yes, all right, I'm doing this. Here we go. And then there was the day where I actually signed the paperwork. And so actually signing the paperwork, it was a email thing because I was out of town.
Right.
But I remember leading up to, because I had gotten a few offers from a few labels. And so there was a week where I was trying to decide which one.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
And it was down to 3. And I remember basically not leaving my room for days, just trying to decide. It was like the hardest decision of my life. I'm just like pacing back and forth, like thinking and like calling people. And so when I finally made the decision, like the celebration was, half of it was, oh my gosh, I just signed a label. But also half of it was like, phew, I'm finally done with this process of trying to make a decision. And so, yeah, I went out to eat with some friends. We had always planned, actually we haven't done this yet. It's my manager is in here. We had always planned, we were like, okay, once I sign a label deal, we're going to Nobu.
Oh.
And
yeah.
I signed the label deal and then everything just started moving right away. And so we were like, all right, here we go. So we never went to Nobu. So we need to do that. But there was champagne. There was, good food. It's a good time. It was one of the craziest days of my life. You would have never, imagined that you get to be at a place where, people pay you to make music, and you have support. You have a team around you who.
I mean, that happens to other people, not me and you.
Yeah.
And they're happening to you.
Yeah.
Paul, 2-part question, dude. What do you consider your best live performance ever? I mean, things went just perfect. Then the complete flip of that. What do you consider your absolute worst? Everything went straight to hell.
Wow. Okay. So I would say my best. Wow. Honestly, probably one of the Jingle Balls. I think, because there's so many people, there's like watching, it's like pressure. So
right.
I was like, oh my gosh, and so I think when I did New York Jingle Ball, I just felt like so proud of myself because there was choreography to it.
Oh man, God, get it.
And I cannot dance, but I, was trying to learn this stuff and to be honest, most of it for me was like, okay, I got to be in this spot and then I got to be in this spot. And there's dancers who are actually doing all the hard work.
Right.
And so, but yeah, to like be able to sing the song and like, remembering the words is easy, but like being able to like sound good. And then also remembering I got to be at this place, I got to be at that place and like not trip over and like all of that. It's a lot going on. And so
it's a lot going on.
and so, yeah, that I'd say is my best. That's the one I've been the most proud of after it happened. The worst, I have a couple answers for this. I think there's like,
why do I love these so much? Oh God.
I think there's like the times where I was the worst. And then there's the times where I felt like, oh my gosh, what is going on right now? And so I'd say like oh my gosh, what is going on right now? I remember this is actually very recently. I did a show where the audience was a bunch of like college fraternities and sororities.
Right.
And it was like late at night. And, it's like I'm performing and it's fine, but I can tell like the audience isn't really like connecting with it because it's like, they're drunk and they're like, they're looking for like, they want to turn up. And it's like, I'm over here like singing this like slow song because I hadn't gotten to Lil Boo Thing yet in the set. And I was like, you know what? What do you want to hear? I gave the mic to someone. And I had this random girl come up and like perform like 3 rap songs that she liked and just like requests from the DJ.
What oh God, that sounds awful.
And it was by far the best moment of the whole show. Like everyone was so hype and I was like, wow, I need to just do this. Sometimes if it's like the crowd's not feeling it, I'm like, you know what do you actually want to hear? Let's just play that.
Paul, what are your family, your friends, your day ones? What's their reaction to all this, success you've had? So and it's early, I get it. A lot of places to go. Sky's the limit. But so far, what's their reaction?
Oh my gosh, they're so pumped. It's crazy. I mean, I'll get a new message every day of someone being like, I can't believe I just heard your song here. I heard your song there. And I think it's fun to bring people to things. I think that's probably one of the coolest feelings for me to
like bring them to Jingle Ball or whatever like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, friends will be like, I don't know, like for Jingle Ball, for example, I just texted a couple friends and was like, hey, you guys want backstage passes to Jingle Ball? And they're like, what the heck? And then they come and we're like hanging out and they're like taking photos with people. And it's like, it's just cool to be that guy. And like, so the friends are loving it. But I don't know. It's cool. I think there's a lot of people in my life who supported my music early on when I was just like, playing ukulele at coffee shops or when I'm like making stuff and putting on SoundCloud and no one's hearing it. And for them, I feel like I'm being annoying when I tell them like this cool thing happened. So I like keep it on the low, but then they'll hit me up and be like, no, like keep me updated because I was, it feels good to me. Like those people, it feels good to them because they remember back like, when they're telling their friends like, oh, there's this guy I know named Paul who I really like his music, but like no one's heard it yet, but I think it's going to, succeed. And then like to prove them right now, is cool. And so I don't know, that stuff is fun for me to hear stories of people be like, yeah, like friends of mine talk about how they were in a conversation with someone like 3 years ago about like, oh, I think my friend's music stuff is going to take off. And then now coming back.
Same question to you. What's your reaction? Is it sinking in yet?
Wow. It honestly has finally started to sink in the past like week because I've been able to chill a little bit more. Because for so long it was like just so much is happening at once. It's like, okay, I got to be at this place. I got to be at that place, But I think now it's like I'm taking a step back and being like, oh my gosh, like this actually is insane. Like it's like nothing, my life as it was before, like I won't like that's a different chapter. It's like now I'm in a whole new, it's like I'm doing things that are like wild bucket list items like every couple of days, which is just nuts. I mean,
What else do people need to know about Paul Russell? Paul Russell.
Wow. What else? There's a lot of things. I could be here all day.
2024 goals, I guess dominate the world, I'm assuming.
Dominate the world. Yeah, take over, win every Grammy, be an EGOT.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, the goal for me is to just keep trying to do stuff that makes people happy. You know what I mean? Like, right. I think the biggest joy of Lil Boo Thang has been seeing how, something I made a lot of people feel good. I'll get messages of people being like, this song was in my wedding, or like this song was, this is kind of sad, but yeah, someone messaged me and they were like, this was they had a video of like their daughter and their mom, singing my song together right before the mom passed away.
Oh my God.
It's
sad, but
sad, but it's like, wow, like to have created something that has an impact on people, that I could never even fathom. Is wild. And so it's a feeling where it's like, I want to keep doing that. Like I want to create moments for people, just because I know that that's something that is special. And I know there's so many, songs that have been that for me. So releasing a lot of stuff to do that, doing a lot of shows, just trying to be out and about, and keep growing.
Man, Paul, thank you for dropping in, and drop in whenever. I appreciate your time, okay?
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun.
Absolutely. Paul, at the end of every interview, fist bump to make it official. Give me a little bye.
Woo!